Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wa salatu wassalam ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome all viewers. Today I wanted to respond to some of the comments and some of the reactions that I received due to yesterday's video. In yesterday's video, I shared some social commentary from an Islamic perspective regarding a major event that went viral involving pop culture in America. Now in this video, I don't want to dwell on the specifics of that event or anything like that. I just want to sort of put into perspective the reality of Muslims who are inviting people to Islam on the internet specifically, who are trying to convey the message of Islam to Muslims and non-Muslims, keeping in mind that I am an American who embraced Islam. I live in America. The largest percentages of viewers on my channel are from the United States and the United Kingdom. These are majority non-Muslim societies. So not only is my concern inviting non-Muslims to Islam and giving them a glimpse into what Muslims believe and what our perspective is, but also helping Muslims in these societies navigate and be Muslim, because we are surrounded by non-Muslims. A lot of these issues that might not specifically be something the Muslim community should concern ourselves with, it's still something that we are exposed to naturally. And even in Muslim majority nations, not everything that is discussed amongst the Muslims are Quran and Sunnah, but there's a lot of political discussions. There's a lot of things that go on socially that even Muslims in Muslim majority nations like to talk about. And with this being the internet, we are severely limited regarding narrowing down our audience. When I am in the masjid giving a lecture, I understand my audience and I'm going to cater what I say to them. If I'm talking to a non-Muslim relative or neighbor, I understand my audience and I'm going to cater what I say to them. It's not going to be the same sort of conversation. However, on the internet, everyone can see it. Everyone of all ages, of all backgrounds and countries and religions are open to viewing the videos. So that's something people need to keep in mind. And also, people need to take some responsibility for what videos they themselves click on. You see the thumbnail, you see the title. If it's something that you are not interested in, that you think is not beneficial, then feel free to not click on it. Nobody's forcing you. However, I do try to keep in mind that this is going out to everyone. And that's why, for example, yesterday's video, I explained to Muslims and non-Muslims why I was creating such a video. So anyways, moving forward, I wanted to mention when it comes to conveying the message of Islam and inviting non-Muslims to the religion, there are two basic categories I want to focus on today. There is the category of direct dawah, where you are directly, specifically inviting somebody to Islam. You are saying, this is the religion of Islam, this is what we believe, this is what it teaches, and I invite you to accept it, to embrace it. But then you have the second category, which is indirect da'wah. You're not sitting there saying, this is what Islam teaches, embrace Islam, but rather, perhaps you are showing people what Islam is through your actions or through a conversation or through social commentary. When everyone is sharing their thoughts about an event that happened in public, you are able to indirectly teach them about Islam. And that can even turn into a direct invitation to Islam or a specific teaching moment. And that's more so what yesterday's video was focused on. It was not on direct da'wah in that I'm going to take you from point A to point B. This is Islam. Would you like to embrace Islam? It was indirect in that we're going to talk about this particular subject and then we will work our way around to Islam. And that's a major aspect of social media today is you have all of these different isms and ideologies and religions that are all sort of commenting on current events, trying to convey their beliefs to others. So in yesterday's viral event, you had liberals who are commenting on it from their worldview. You had conservatives, you had feminists, you had all types of different people, any sort of group that you can think of. They were commenting on this viral event that happened with hopes that other people would accept what they believe to be the truth, and also to help their own audiences understand how they should perhaps interpret these events and how they can convey these messages to their coworkers and friends and families. And we should also keep in mind, although you might have a group of Muslims who very much so have a tunnel vision on the straight path, they try not to ever expose themselves to all of the pop culture and all these things that are going on. They're on the internet trying to listen to Quran, study Islam. Allahumma barak. Although those people exist and perhaps they were most upset with what I was talking about yesterday, there is a huge faction of Muslims, especially in these societies, the United States, the United Kingdom, who are talking about these things. And they are listening to what other people have to say about it. They're getting the liberal perspective. They're getting the conservative perspective. They're getting the Christian feminist in this perspective and that perspective. They also need to get the Islamic perspective, not only for themselves, but so that they too can stand firm upon giving da'wah to the people around them. And also, of course, not to neglect and forget about the fact that I do make videos aimed at non-Muslims as well. I do have non-Muslim subscribers and viewers. And what I have found over the years as a Muslim around non-Muslims trying to give da'wah and teach people about Islam is that you can only give a non-Muslim direct da'wah so much before they don't want to hear it anymore. I'm sure many of the brothers and sisters watching this who embraced Islam themselves, perhaps when you first became Muslim, like myself, you were very much so directly inviting people to Islam, specifically telling them, this is Islam. Let me tell you about it. Will you embrace it? That can be great and effective, and it is an important form of da'wah. But your relatives are going to reach a point where you've conveyed the message to them. They don't want you to keep over and over and over again for 10 years, giving them direct da'wah over and over again. So sometimes it reaches a point where indirect da'wah is the best thing that you have left. So when there are certain major world events that are going viral that everyone's talking about and everyone is sharing their perspective, this is an opportunity for indirect da'wah. Everyone is sharing their perspective about what happened, sharing their thoughts, having an open conversation. And just like you'll listen to them, they'll listen to you. And you will be able to give them a new, different perspective regarding Islam that they may have never been introduced to. And I say this as somebody who still has non-Muslim relatives, that these are some of the golden opportunities that I still have. Because obviously anybody who has non-Muslim family, our main concern regarding them is for them to become Muslim, because we care about them. We want them to be guided in this life and go to Jannah in the hereafter. And there have been many times when there is some sort of public event and I have discussions with non-Muslims and I will convey to them my perspective as a Muslim. I will be able to work in some ayat and hadith, showing them why I feel the way I do. And they will agree with it. They will be enlightened by it. And alhamdulillah, this happened yesterday with the video I posted yesterday. I had a non-Muslim family member message me saying they liked the video and that there were good points raised in it. And this is somebody who doesn't do that. They never normally message me about my videos, but they did regarding that one because everyone was talking about it. So it was an opportunity for me to convey how a Muslim views this and quote an ayah from the Quran. And there was also a non-Muslim childhood friend of mine who watched it and commented on it and liked it. Now, that doesn't mean we should overly indulge in pop culture and things that might be problematic for Muslims to expose themselves to simply for the sake of da'wah. However, we do have to be balanced. There are certain things that are playing out before us in the news. Everyone's talking about it. And sometimes there is benefit to giving a Muslim perspective. Islam is balanced. We should not overindulge in it. It can be problematic to bring up certain things, but at the same time to act like just because you're bringing up something that involves some sort of pop culture event that you're wrong as a Muslim or a da'i for bringing it up. This is another extreme that isn't correct. And I want to close by mentioning how people are so quick to try to judge someone's intentions, saying you're doing this for views. I not only say this for myself, but for all of the Muslim YouTubers. I believe it is wrong for people to try to judge someone else's intentions. You don't know anyone else's intentions. Focus on whether or not the video is beneficial. There definitely are certain actions that can seem to suggest that somebody is chasing views. However, at the end of the day, only Allah truly knows, and what we should concern ourselves with is whether or not the content is beneficial. I believe the only time I brought up views is in relation to how people make money off of views. And the reason I brought this up is to let people know that, number one, these advertisements oftentimes contain haram elements. And number two, to let Muslims know that when you go to a non-Muslim's channel, specifically those who are trying to call away from Islam, understand that they can be making money off of your views. Getting views in and of itself is not problematic. Obviously, we want to convey the message of Islam. The more people who benefit, the better, inshallah. As long as what we're saying is correct and beneficial, and as long as we have ikhlas, as long as we are sincere. So I ask that Allah make us sincere. I ask that Allah make our da'wah beneficial, that He accept from us, that He guide us to follow and propagate the Quran and authentic Sunnah. I ask that Allah make this channel beneficial for Muslims and non-Muslims. And I appreciate all of you for watching. jazakumAllahukhairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.